Have you ever noticed how often you check your phone without even thinking? Just a quick look, just one message, just a few seconds. And suddenly, it's been an hour. I didn't think much about it at first. It felt normal. Everyone around me did the same thing. At dinner, people looked down at their screens. Before sleep, people scrolled quietly in the dark. Even when nothing was happening, we still reach for our phones, out of habit, out of boredom, out of something we didn't fully understand. One night, I looked at the time, 7:03 p.m. I was sitting in my room, phone in my hand, scrolling. I couldn't even remember what I was looking at. Nothing important, nothing meaningful, just endless content. And for the first time, I asked myself a simple question. What would happen if I stopped? Not forever. Just after 7 p.m. No phone, no scrolling, no checking messages. Just silence. The idea felt small, almost too simple. But something about it made me uncomfortable. And I think that's why I decided to try. 7 days. Every evening after 7 p.m. My phone would be off. No exceptions. I didn't tell anyone at first because I didn't want to explain it. I just wanted to experience it. The first evening came quietly. 6:58 p.m. I looked at my phone one last time. A few notifications, a few messages, nothing urgent. Still, my hand didn't move right away. It felt strange, like I was about to give something up, even though I didn't know what it was. At exactly 7 p.m., I turned it off. The screen went black, and just like that, the noise disappeared. At first, nothing happened. The room was the same. The air was the same. But inside, something felt different. I sat there for a moment, not sure what to do next. Because for the first time in a long time, there was no next scroll, no next video, no next distraction waiting for me. Just time. Slow, quiet time. I stood up and walked around my room, then sat down again, then stood up again. It felt uncomfortable, not painful, but unfamiliar, like I had removed something that I didn't realize I depended on. After a while, I picked up a book, not because I was excited to read, but because I didn't know what else to do. I read a few pages, slowly, carefully, and something surprising happened. My mind didn't wander as much as I expected. It was quieter, not completely calm, but less scattered. Later that night, I noticed something else. Time felt different, longer, slower. Without my phone, the evening didn't disappear. It stretched. It gave me space to think, to notice small things, to just sit, without needing to fill every second. Before going to sleep, I reached for my phone out of habit, then stopped. I smiled a little, because I almost forgot. And in that small moment, I realized something important. This wasn't going to be easy, not because it was difficult, but because it was simple. And sometimes, the simplest changes are the hardest to keep. As I lay in bed that night, one quiet question stayed in my mind. What will happen to my mind when the noise is gone for 7 days? The second evening felt different, not easier, just more real. All day I kept thinking about it, about 7 p.m., about that moment when everything would go quiet again. It was strange. I had spent years using my phone without thinking, but now I was thinking about not using it all the time. At 6:45 p.m., I checked my phone more than usual. Messages, apps, notifications, nothing had changed, but I looked at everything more carefully, almost like I was about to leave something behind. At 6:59 p.m., I held my phone in my hand, just like yesterday. And again, there was a small hesitation, not because I needed it, but because I was used to it. 7 p.m. I turned it off. The silence returned, but this time, it didn't feel new. It felt expected. And maybe that's why it felt slightly heavier. I sat down in the same place as the night before, the same room, the same chair. But my mind was not the same. It was louder. Thoughts started to come, one after another. Things I forgot to do, things I should have said, things I was avoiding. Without my phone, there was nothing to push them away. No quick distraction, no easy escape, just me and everything I had been ignoring. At first, I didn't like it. I stood up again, walked around, looked out the window, came back, sat down. It felt uncomfortable, like sitting in a quiet room with a voice inside your head that won't stop talking. After a while, I tried something different. Instead of running from the thoughts, I just listened, not trying to fix anything, not trying to understand everything, just letting them be there. Slowly, the noise changed. It didn't disappear, but it softened, like a conversation that becomes quieter over time. I made a simple dinner that night, nothing special, but I noticed every step, the sound of cutting vegetables, the smell of the food, the small movements of my hands. Normally, I would watch something while eating or scroll through my phone, but now I just sat there and ate. At first, it felt empty, too quiet, but then something unexpected happened. The food tasted better, not because it changed, but because I was actually paying attention. Later, I sat down with my notebook, not to plan, not to work, just to write a few simple sentences about how the day felt, about what I noticed, and one sentence stayed on the page longer than the others. I didn't realize how full my mind was until I stopped filling it. I read it again, slowly, because it felt true. Before going to sleep, I noticed something else. I wasn't as tired as usual, but I felt calmer, less rushed, like my day had space in it. As I lay in bed, I thought about something simple. This wasn't just about using my phone less, it was about facing something I had been avoiding. Silence, real silence, the kind that doesn't entertain you, the kind that doesn't distract you, the kind that shows you what's really inside your mind. And as the second day ended, one quiet thought stayed with me. If silence feels this uncomfortable, what have I been running from all this time? By the third day, something began to shift. Not outside. The world was the same, people were the same, but inside, there was a small change I couldn't ignore. That afternoon, I didn't think about 7 p.m. as much. The first 2 days, it stayed in my mind, like a reminder, like a quiet pressure. But now, it felt more natural, still not easy, but less heavy. When 7 p.m. came, I turned off my phone without hesitation, no long pause, no second thoughts, just one simple action. And then, silence. But this time, the silence felt different, not empty, just open. I didn't rush to fill it. I didn't stand up and walk around. I just sat there and let the moment be. A few thoughts came, but they didn't feel overwhelming anymore. They passed more slowly, like clouds moving across the sky. I picked up the same book again, read a few pages, then stopped. Not because I was bored, but because I didn't feel the need to keep going. That was new. Usually, I needed something constant, more content, more stimulation, but now, a little felt enough. Later, I made tea. And instead of doing something else at the same time, I just watched the steam rise from the cup. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But in that moment, I realized something I had forgotten. There is a kind of peace in doing only one thing at a time. No background noise, no second screen. Just one small, quiet experience. As the evening continued, I noticed something else. Time no longer felt slow in an uncomfortable way. It felt full, not busy, just complete, like each moment had enough space to exist. At one point, I sat near the window again, the same place as before, but this time I didn't feel restless. I watched the sky change colors, from light to soft orange to dark, and I stayed there, without checking anything, without reaching for something else, just watching. And that's when a quiet thought appeared. Maybe I don't need as much as I think, not more content, not more noise, just more presence. Before going to bed, I noticed my body felt lighter, not physically, but mentally, like something had been removed, something I didn't even know I was carrying. I lay down, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel the urge to check my phone, not even once. That surprised me, because just 2 days ago, it felt almost impossible, and now it felt normal. As I closed my eyes, one simple idea stayed with me. If 3 days can change how I feel this much, what else in my life feels necessary, but really isn't? By the fourth day, the habit didn't feel like a rule anymore. It felt like a quiet choice, something I returned to, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. During the day, I noticed a small change. I was using my phone the same way as before, but something felt different. I was more aware. And every time I picked it up, I knew I was doing it, not just reacting, not just following a habit, and that awareness stayed with me all the way to the evening. When 7 p.m. arrived, I turned off my phone without thinking twice. No hesitation, no feeling of loss, just a simple action. And then, the quiet space returned. But this time, it felt familiar, almost comforting. I sat down, like I had done every night. But instead of asking, "What should I do now?" a different question came to my mind. What do I actually feel like doing? That question surprised me, because I wasn't used to asking it. Most of the time, my attention was already decided for me by notifications, by apps, by endless scrolling. But now, the choice was mine again. I made a simple decision. I went for a short walk. No phone, no music, no distractions, just the sound of my steps and the quiet of the evening. At first, it felt a little strange. People passed by. Some were looking at their phones, some were talking. And for a brief moment, I felt disconnected, like I was outside of everything. But then, something shifted. I started to notice small details. The air felt cooler. The street was calmer. The sky was darker than I expected, and slowly, that feeling of being outside changed. It became something else, not isolation, but presence. I wasn't missing anything. I was just here. When I came back home, I didn't rush to do anything. I sat down, took a deep breath, and let the silence stay. There was no pressure to fill it anymore, no need to escape it. Later, I thought about the first day again, how uncomfortable it felt, how strange the silence was, and I realized something important. Nothing outside had changed. The same room, the same time, the same life. But my experience of it had completely shifted. It wasn't the phone that made everything noisy. It was how often I used it. To avoid being still. Before going to bed, I noticed something small. There were no unfinished thoughts, no mental noise. Just a quiet, steady feeling. Not excitement, not happiness. Just calm. And maybe that's what I had been missing. Not more entertainment, not more information. Just a moment where nothing is pulling your attention away. As the fourth day ended, one simple question stayed in my mind. If peace feels like this, Why did I spend so much time avoiding it? By the seventh day, I almost forgot about the experiment. Not because it didn't matter anymore, but because it had quietly become part of me. There was no countdown, no excitement about finishing, just another evening, waiting for 7 p.m. When the time came, I turned off my phone, the same way I had done every night. Simple, calm, natural. And for a moment, I paused because I realized something. The silence I was afraid of was no longer uncomfortable. It felt like home. I sat down by the window again, the same place, the same view. But this time, everything felt clearer, not brighter, not more beautiful, just more real. I could hear small sounds I used to ignore, the wind moving softly, a distant voice, the quiet rhythm of the night, and inside, there was space. No rush, no pressure, no need to escape, just a steady, quiet awareness. I thought about the past 7 days, and not as a challenge, but as a series of small moments, moments where I chose to stop, to slow down, to be present, and I noticed something important. My mind had changed, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, steady way. I was less restless, less distracted, more patient, more aware, even during the day. I didn't feel the same urgency to check my phone. The habit was still there, but it was weaker. And for the first time, I felt like I had a choice. That night, I didn't try to do anything special. No plan, no goal. I just let the evening unfold. A little reading, a little thinking, a little silence, and it was enough. More than enough. Before going to sleep, I picked up my phone again. The screen lit up. Messages, notifications, updates from a world that never stops moving. But something was different now. I didn't feel pulled into it. I just looked and then gently put it down because I understood something I didn't understand before. My attention is not something to give away so easily. It is something to protect, something to choose. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply turn away. I turned off the light and lay down. The room was quiet. My mind was quiet. And in that stillness, one final thought stayed with me. Nothing in my life had changed on the outside, but everything felt different on the inside. And maybe that's the real change. Not doing more, not adding more, but removing just one small thing and finally seeing what was always there. If this story made you slow down, even for a moment, take that moment with you. And if you want to learn English through calm, real life stories like this, stay with us.